Do you love running quizzes, but have trouble keeping track of the scores? Then our Lesson More with Fusion app, simply called Scores, is for you. It's completely free and runs on any Windows PC or laptop. Scores overlays up to 4 team scores onto your screen. So underneath, you can have PowerPoint, videos, whatever you want, or our own background running to improve your quiz. Scores can keep track of up to 4 teams, has different viewing options, its own theme tune, and even an announcer.
Congratulations!
To make your quiz have top marks. Created with ClickTeam Fusion by Impact Gamers. Download it now, along with other apps from the website. Lesson More with Fusion. Keep watching. The next section is how to use the app, and the final section is how you can use ClickTeam Fusion to make your own game. Here's how to use Scores. Go to the website impactgamers.net/lesson. Select Scores and choose Download for Windows. If your browser asks, choose to keep the file. You just need the file. There's no installation, so you can even save it on a memory stick and take it with you. When you start up Scores, if Windows asks, you can choose More Info and Run Anyway. On the title screen, you'll see there's several options. If you've run the game before and need to reset the scores back to 0, you can do it by clicking the red button. If you want to run a game without any of the music or sound effects, you can turn them off. The Help button will show you this page, which is also downloadable from the website. This details each button's use. To return, click back or press any key. And if you're only playing with 2 teams, you can change that option here. Finally, in order to use Scores and to start the application fully, you'll need to turn Numlock on your keyboard. Numlock changes the function of arrows and number keys, normally in a pad on the right hand side of your keyboard. Some laptops might have the number pad where the trackpad is, or some might overlay the number pad over other keys where you have to press Function to switch Numlock on. Although this can be used, it's not as useful. In this case, I'd suggest plugging in an external keyboard, or if you can get hold of one, you could get a wireless number pad. Now Numlock is on, we can start Scores. By default, it loads up with a view of a purple background and a view of the scores. We can use the star or multiply sign on the number pad in order to hide the background. And to bring it back, we can use the / divide sign. We can use 7, 8 and 9 in order to change which scores are visible. 7 will hide all of them, and this is especially useful when you've hidden the background. 8 will just show the small scores in the corners, and 9 will show the large scores in the centre and the corner scores. To add to the scores, on the number pad you can press 1 for the red team, 2 for yellow, 3 for green and 4 for blue. If you've made a mistake, you can switch between adding a score and minusing a score by using the plus and minus buttons on the number pad. If you need to run a countdown, you can press 6, which will start a 10-second countdown. To cancel the countdown, you can press 5 on the number pad if needed.
5, 4, 3.
0 on the number pad will play a musical sting, useful between rounds or to get people's attention. And finally, delete on the number pad, or period, full stop, or decimal point, will run the announcer, hiding all the scores and bringing them in one by one, saying how they placed.
Let's look at the team rankings. In last place we have the red team. Next we have the yellow team. Next we have the green team. In first place we have the blue team. Congratulations!
And when done, just press the Numlock key in order to quit. When you restart, you'll have your scores saved from where you last were. Scores was made in ClickTeam Fusion, and if you carry on watching, we'll show you a quick tutorial how you can make your own score app for your class on the free edition of Fusion. This next section is how to use ClickTeam Fusion.
Hey guys, it's TJ from Impact Gamers, and today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to add some counters into your game or app. This is going to be counters that you could use for some kind of in-person game show, so a way of adding and subtracting from two different scores for maybe two different teams. So the first thing you're going to need to do is have the free edition of ClickTeam Fusion. Now, just in case you don't already have this, if you go to ClickTeam's website, you can scroll down and go to download free PC version. After that, install it, which doesn't take long at all, and load it up. Now, once we're inside ClickTeam, all we need to do is start a new application, and we can do that by going to File and New. We can click this piece of paper here, or we can click New Application. Once we're in the storyboard editor, we're just going to go into our first frame, and this is the play area. Anything in the white space is the play area. And the first thing we need to do for this tutorial, which is just a quick tutorial, so it won't take very long, but I will show you all the steps. You need to add a counter. Now that we've added our counter, all I'm going to do is in its properties, I'm actually going to change its type to text. And then I'm going to go to its text options, and I'm going to change its font size to 200. Press OK, and as you can see now, I'm going to have to click again until these squares appear, and I can resize it now. So it's nice and big. Now this one is going to be for the red team, and I'm going to show that by making the text red. I'm also going to make sure I leave the counter slightly a bit more centered, because the digits would be added this side, and I'm also going to make the text box a bit bigger on this side so the digits fit. And there we go. So that's the first counter. I'm now going to clone the counter, which means it will look the same, but I can adjust it. It won't change this one, so it just saves me doing the first steps again. And I'm going to change the color to blue, and I'm going to press F2, or you can right click and go to rename, and I'm just going to call this one blue. There we go. So we currently have red and blue teams. Now for the code, all we need to do is have inputs so that we can click a button and add a score, click another button to subtract a score, and we need this for both different counters. Now all we do is go to new condition, and we're going to go to mouse and keyboard and go to keyboard upon pressing a key. Now I'm going to pick W for my first one, and this is going to add to the counter. So I'm going to right click to create an action. I'm going to go down and add to counter by 1. And then I need to do the same process, but pick a different button to subtract from counter by 1. Now I need to do this for the blue counter, so I'm going to pick different buttons, just so this is a lot easier to kind of remember if it's on the same side of the keyboard as the actual counter would be. And then I'm going to press down arrow. So we're going to go on here, and we're going to add to counter by 1, and then we're just going to right click, subtract from counter by 1. Now normally in a game show you will have some kind of noises, some sound effects play when you get a correct answer or an incorrect answer. And what we're going to do for this is we're actually just going to hop over to another site called Pixabay. Now Pixabay is brilliant for license-free, royalty-free stock sounds and images, and sounds is actually quite a new feature, so we're going to use it out and go to sound effects, and we want a ding sound. And then all you do is click to play and find one you like, and then you click download. Now I've already downloaded my assets, so you would click this button and it just downloads it as an MP3, and then you would also want a different sound, so you would want an error. And there's even some suggestions that will pop up for you in this search engine. And then you can just find one for an error. And that's it. So you would click download and it will go to your downloads folder. Now what I've done though is I've made my own assets folder to make this a little easier. So make sure you save it somewhere that's going to be easier for you to find. And then all we need to do is go here and we want to right click again to add an action, samples, and play sample. Now this will just play the sound effect once. And I want this to be ding, because ding is going to be my good sound for adding. I'm also going to then put this here because this is for the other team's positive sound. I now need to add the not so good sound, the and survey says sound, and there we go. So we have the positive sounds and the negative sounds. And now all we need to do is test that that works. So go to run and frame or application, because we only have one frame. And if I press W, and if I press S, and if I press up arrow, and if I press down arrow, and that's it. So it works. Our counters work for the different teams. Now obviously you can make this look as pretty as you want. This is just a tutorial for the counters and how to get some sounds for them. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful. I've been TJ from Impact Gamers, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.